Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kyger1324 here. Up here today, we're going to be taking another look at what's on my Xbox. In the last one we did, we focused on what games I had ready to install, ready to play, games that were installed, and there's 143 installed there. And as you can see, I have 181 games ready to install. And there's 100 plus games on the Game Pass and also EA Access. Gold here is basically all the games that you've got free with gold are in their own sort of folder now, which is really good. And I've closed the curtain just so it's easier to see everything. But at the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I play all of these games and if I played all my games and my plan on having to be able to play all these games. But before I do that, I want to show you something really cool that the Xbox One now does. And that is the ability to make groups. Before you had pins, but now you can make groups. So you can make groups. So here's one that I put KHR, which is actually me, Heather and Ryan, games that we play together, or I play with Heather, games that I've been playing, you know, action games. That's how I've done things. I don't really use this that much now, but it's still a pretty cool idea. Now here's onto the ready to install. If the game's in ready to install, it means one of two things. It means I've played the game and uninstalled it because I have either finished it or didn't like it or have at least played it. And or it's just something I may have that either Ryan's brought or something I brought and uninstalled to make space. But nonetheless, start off with hashtag iDarb. A weird sort of pixel game. It's sort of like a sports game almost. It's one of them 2D platformer sport things, arena sport thing. It's unique, but it's not that good single player. But if you have some friends to play with, I can imagine it being quite a fun little game. And we were given that for free, but it's also on the Game Pass, I believe. A King's Tale Final Fantasy. There are a ton of free-to-play games or free-to-download games on the Xbox One. And here's A King's Tale Final Fantasy. We did a playthrough of this game. I played the game and I think I finished it in a video ages ago. And it's a 2D sort of 16-bit beat-em-up hack-and-slash game. It's not very long, but it's pretty fun, actually. It's kind of a unique game. It's sort of like a spin-off thing from Final Fantasy 15. A Way Out. I really enjoyed this game. Played it through with my friend. I played as Leo. I'm not going to spoil the story, but I've got to say it really did leave its mark on me. It was a fantastic story. One of the best co-op games I've played in a long time. A Word of Keflings. A sort of unique town builder slash strategy game slash sort of... I don't really know what to call it. It's a casual game, nonetheless. It's a fun little casual game. You can sort of put some time into this game, or you will play it and never play it again. I've done a bit of both with that. ACA's Neo Geo The Last Blade 2. Now, there's a bunch of Neo Geo games on the Xbox One, and I think what ACA are trying to do and SNK are trying to do is bring all their Neo Geo games to PS4 and Xbox One and PC, and it's a great way of playing Neo Geo games because as we know, Neo Geo is a very expensive console to collect for if you want to get the actual console version, or if you don't want that, you need the arcade machine. Emulators, yes, you can get, and I've got some Neo Geo games on my Modfather. I think I've got all of them on there. I'm not sure. I don't know which one I've got. But emulation, guys, a lot of these emulation sites are been taken down. Emu Paradise has been taken down. Kind of a sad day for those people, but it's a good way of playing some retro games at least. The Last Blade 2 is an alright fighting game. I don't really buy these that much, but I do want to have them all eventually. Adventure Pop, it's sort of like a Super Buster Move style free-to-play game. It's so-so. I do like those sort of puzzle games, but I can't really play it for too long. Air Mech Arena, it's like a real-time strategy game mixed with a twin-stick shooter. Kind of a unique game. It's free-to-play, so you can download it at any time. APB Reloaded, it's basically like Cops and Robbers GTA style game. It seemed like a really fun game, but when I play it, it's got terrible lag. At the time I had bad internet, so now I use a wired connection. It might be much more stable, so I'll have to try it again. Army of Two, again, a lot of games you get for free with gold. Here's Army of Two, the original, absolutely fantastic co-op game. I enjoyed it. And then we have both the Xbox 360 and Xbox One versions of Black Flag. Again, I've got both versions. I don't know if there's much difference between them, but nonetheless, I loved Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Really good game. And then we have Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. I do have China, but I'm installing that because I'll explain why at the end of the video. 2.5D sort of action stealth Assassin's Creed games, not really like the original games. They're unique games, but I'm not a really big fan of it. But yeah, and then we have the Russia Chronicles and of course China downloading. Assassin's Creed 3, like I said, every single Assassin's Creed game is now pretty much available to play on Xbox one way or another, and I enjoyed 3, never beat it. I've never really beaten any Assassin's Creed game other than Brotherhood, but I enjoyed it. Some people didn't like it. I thought it had a pretty good setting. Assault Heroes 2, it's sort of like a twin stick shooter, sort of on-rail twin stick top-down shooter. Fun game actually, not very long but fun. Back to the Future, the 30th anniversary. Really, these Telltale games I've heard are fantastic story-driven games, so I will get round to playing it, and much sooner than I think actually. And then we have some battle games, Battle Ages, Battle Islands, and Battle Islands Commanders. I tried out that one, didn't really like it, but these are sort of like mobile style games, so be aware. But they're on here for free, so if you enjoy those sort of town builders and things like that, these could be for you. I might enjoy Battle Ages though, because it's sort of like Age of Empires. Battle Block Theatre, absolutely love this game. I mainly got it because I watched Nova play this game years ago, and I really thought it was looked like a really good game made by the same company who made Castle Crashers, and we all know I love Castle Crashers. Got a coffee here, very good. Just been up to see me nan, so I've got home not long ago. Then we have Bayonetta, really good game actually. I'm so pissed off Bayonetta 2 went to Nintendo. It would have been great if we would have got number 2 on Xbox One. Maybe eventually we might. Beyond Good and Evil HD. I've never played Beyond Good and Evil. I hear it's a really good game though. The second one on the way. Brave, the video game. This game actually looks a little bit like the Shrek 2 video game, which actually I don't have anymore. I thought I did, but I have to get that back. Call of Duty Ghost, the Xbox 360 version. I do need the Xbox One version, but I enjoyed Call of Duty Ghost for the campaign. The Alien mode, Extermination, I think it was called, or whatever the mode it was. I actually enjoyed. It was something different, but yeah, nonetheless, Ghost got a lot of hate because of the multiplayer. Infinite Warfare, I semi-enjoyed the story mode, never played the co-op, the online, and I've not really played the zombies either, so maybe I'll maybe try out the multiplayer one day. Capcom Arcade Cabinet, this is basically sort of a hub where you get a bunch of Capcom games, but you have to buy the individual games. But I think you get like 2 or 3 on there for free. And then we have Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. Originally a Sega Mega Drive game. Had that game growing up, and I remember it being really awesome. And this is a pretty faithful remake almost. And yeah, if you enjoyed the original game, you probably enjoy this. But it's nonetheless Castle Storm Definitive Edition. Haven't played this yet, but I think it's sort of like a 1v1 sort of strategy game sort of thing. Cell Damage HD, no need introduction on my channel. I've already talked about how great this game is and how much I love it. So the HD version, I had to get it. Chariot, I haven't played it yet, but I think it's sort of like a physics-based platformer puzzle game. I will get round to playing these games. A Child of Eden, it was originally a Kinect game. It's an on-rail shooter, sort of like Rez. It's more of an experience than it is a shooter. With a Kinect, I was told it was actually surprisingly good. I played it without a Kinect, and I've got to tell you, it is a beautiful looking game. There's so many colours. but I wouldn't recommend playing it if you have epilepsy. Clicker Heroes. I think it's sort of just like a clicker game, or the tap games as they're now known on the thing. I do play some tap games every now and then, but after a while I just get carpal tunnel. Crackdown, looking forward to the third one. I loved Crackdown back in the day, and again you can play Crackdown 1 now on the Xbox One. I don't know about the second one. Crazy Taxi, one very famous game here. Haven't played the Xbox 360 version. I may have played the PS2 version, but I don't think so. Crimson Dragon, actually, ironically, this was the first game I ever played on the Xbox One. It's basically an on-rail shooter. It sort of reminds me of, say, like the Panzer Dragoon game. So if you enjoy those sort of games, you probably will enjoy that. I don't know if they're still updating this game and if it's still supported to this day. But I definitely do like those sort of on-rail games. Then we have Crossout. This is another free-to-play game. It's basically sort of like a Mad Max style of game. I think it's a vehicle game, sort of like in Wasteland, like things, and you can drive around and things and stuff like that. D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die. I believe this is a sort of like almost like a Telltale's game. I don't think it was made by Telltale's. I think it was made by someone else. I think it was made by Square Enix. I might be wrong though. But yeah, I've heard this is a weird one. Dark Souls, the original. Now, Dark Souls, I have only played a tiny bit of this game, and I want to play Dark Souls, and they're actually bringing out a Dark Souls trilogy, which includes the remastered first game, the second game, which was the Scholar of the Sin edition, which was almost like a remaster of the second game with all the DLC sort of thing, and then the third game with all the DLC. So that's the version of Dark Souls I'm waiting for. So I have all three games on one disc rather than having to buy each individual one. So sometimes with my collection, I'll cut corners like that and eventually get the single versions, sort of like with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, that I got the version with Modern Warfare on the disc, so I don't need to buy both versions of those games. The original Darksiders, never played this, but I have played a little bit of the remastered one. It seems like a pretty fun game. DC Universe Online, actually have never played this. I'm surprised I haven't, though. I'm surprised I haven't. I don't know how good this is. I don't know if this is still a very ongoing game, and I think it's still going to this day. Dead Rising 4, I didn't really like this game, but I'm not going to say that I didn't like it. I'm just going to say that it wasn't as good as Dead Rising 3. I think Dead Rising 3 was different, was alright, but this one's changed too much, and the worst part about this game, no co-op campaign, man. That sucks, man. But the multiplayer's somewhat decent. It's very different. The DLC where you got to play as Frank West as a zombie was cool, but at the same time was really short. Deadfall Adventures, a very average first-person shooter. It has a sort of unique thing where you use a torch to hurt the enemies before you can shoot them, kind of thing. Kind of a unique sort of thing there, but it's still not that great of a game. Defense Grid, The Awakening. It's a tower defense game, I believe. Demon Crystals, it looks like an anime game, but it's not. It's a twin-stick shooter with almost mobile-like graphics. I believe it might have already been a mobile game originally. Deus Ex Human Revolution. I played a little bit of this on the Xbox 360. It seems like a series that I definitely enjoy if I put a lot of time into. But I'll explain what I'm doing at the end of the video. Dirt 3. Haven't played it yet. I don't think I've played any of the Dirt games. I might try out 4 before I try out the others, the arcade mode. Disney's Epic Mickey 2. This is free at the moment. So if you haven't got this game, download it for free if you have gold. And we're still waiting for next month's gold. Dead Rising 2, Case Zero. This was basically almost like a long demo for Dead Rising 2, a prologue sort of thing. I remember playing it when it first came out with Ryan, thinking it was all right, and then the second game came out and really blew that one out of the water. Dungeon Defenders 2, I believe it's sort of like a a defense sort of game almost. I believe it's pretty fun. Dungeon Siege 3, it's sort of like a Diablo style top-down RPG. I didn't really enjoy it when I played it years ago, but maybe if I'll try it again one day. EA Access Hub, I don't need that installed because you've got the EA Access now there. Oh, back down we go. This is a good opportunity for you guys to see what's on the Xbox and stuff like that. Evolve, I have this digital and physical. This is the digital version, obviously. Haven't played it yet. I don't know how many people are playing this game. I don't know if it's got a single player mode or not. Fable Fortune, it's the a card game based in the Fable universe. Unfortunately, we haven't heard anything new with Fable. I believe there's Fable Legends coming out or something like that. I don't know. Fallout 3, again, you got a digital version of Fallout 3 when you brought Fallout 4. Absolutely fantastic game, again. But don't finish this main storyline until you're ready to finish the game, because once you finish the main storyline, the game ends and you can't go back and do everything else. Same with New Vegas. Fallout Shelter, mobile game. I don't know why they had to bring it to the Xbox. But like the mobile game, it's free. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I've heard this is a really fun game. Sort of like a futuristic 80s style Far Cry game. Of course, Fortnite. This says Battle Royale, but I actually have the actual version. I have the single player mode as well, because Ryan brought the single player Fortnite when it first came out, and now it's all about the Battle Royale. I'm not going to say that I hate Fortnite, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that I love it. I weren't a big fan of the single player mode. As for Battle Royale, I'm just not overly keen on these Royale games. There's too many now. Forza Horizon 1 and 2 and the Fast and Furious standalone DLC pack. This is a standalone game. It's free, by the way. It was free, but I don't know if it still is. I've heard these games are really good. Racing games, open world, with number 4 being on the way, being based in, I believe, Wales or England. Or Scotland, one or the other. But of course, Microsoft and Forza, you know, love their Forza. Frozen Freefall Snowball Fight. I just downloaded all of the free-to-play games just so I have them on here. It's just a match-3 game with Frozen characters. I've never watched Frozen. I sort of don't want to watch it, but I feel like I should watch it. Maybe it's because that dress is absolutely beautiful. Now that I look at it, it's beautiful. I want it. Gems of War. This is sort of like, if you like Puzzle Quest, I believe that's sort of what this is. Gianna Sisters Twisted Dream Director's Cut. I hear this is a really unique platformer game where basically you can switch between a dark world and a light world in game. Gigantic, this is sort of like a MOBA, it's sort of like an Overwatch Paladin style game. Haven't played it yet, and I don't know if any people are still playing this game, but I'll give it a go one day. Gone Home, console edition. I believe it's a, point and click adventure puzzle game. I believe it's not that great, and it's not very long either, which is fine by me. Grid 2, I hear these grid games are really good. The arcade version is actually pretty fun. Grow Up, this is a platforming 3D platformer. I hear it's so-so. Guardian Heroes, TM, trademark. This was originally a Saturn game, I believe. And it's a sort of 2D beat-em-up game. It's actually pretty fun. Halo 3 needs no introduction, one of the best games ever made. And I can't wait for them to do a remaster of Halo 3. They've done it with 1 and 2, so 3. Oh, baby. And I'm looking forward to Halo 6. It's called Halo Infinite, but they basically said just call it Halo 6. And then we got Spartan Assault, both the Xbox One and 360 version. For some reason, I think this one from the Game Pass. Actually, really top-down game. Originally a mobile game. There's another one on PC and mobile, but they haven't brought that out. I think it's Spartan something else. Hand of Fate. This is a game that combines a card game with 2D fighting. It looked really unique. The second one's meant to be, it looks awesome, I will say. Hand of the Gods. It's basically Smite basically smite characters, but I think cards or tactical. Happy Dungeons and Happy Wars, again, free-to-play games. I think this is more like a dungeon crawler. This is more like a battle arena game. Haunted House was originally on the Atari 2600. This is a remake almost. It's not that great. Unique game for the day, but, you know. Then we got Hawken. This is a free-to-play mech sim online game, I believe. Heavy Weapon. It's a run-and-gun sort of game with a tank. 2D. How to Survive Storm Warning Edition. This is a top-down sort of survival zombie game. It's actually pretty fun if you do it co-op. Really fun co-op game. The second one's meant to be even better. Hydro Thunder Hurricane. Loved it on PS1, but for some reason I couldn't really get into this version. And maybe it's because I'm not overly keen on racing games anymore, but loved it as a kid. I Am Alive. I think I played this game. It's a sort of a horror game, but I couldn't really get into it, to be honest. Iron Brigade. This is a sort of tower defense game when you're in a giant mech, almost. Just Cause 2, loved it back in the day, but again, now when I play it, I just notice a lot of the issues with the game. Am I going to get 4 day one? Probably not, but still, great games if you want to go around and cause havoc. Kane and Lynch 2, absolutely terrible camera work in this game. The gameplay is so-so, but the camera is what ruined this game. Killer Instinct, this is the sort of Xbox One version of the game. Good variation of Killer Instinct, I will say, but never really grew up with it, so I have no expectations or nostalgia for it. And then we have the arcade version of the second game, which I think you got for free. Lara Croft, and this is Guardian of the Light. It's another one of those top-down Lara Croft games. I think there's 2. I don't know if there's another one coming. Fun game, actually. Layers of Fear. This is a horror game. First-person horror, psychological horror game. I hear it's pretty scary. Lies of Astaroth, it's a anime sort of card game almost. Lords of the Fallen, it's a Dark Souls clone, and I didn't really like it. I felt it was too slow. Some people like it, some don't. Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time, this is a weird game, I will say. I don't really know what it's about. Mace Space Shooter, one of the worst space shooters I've ever played. It feels like a shitty mobile game, that's exactly what it is. And then we've got Magic 2003 and Magic Duels. They're Magic the Gathering card games. If I knew how to play Magic the Gathering properly, I probably could enjoy these games, but I don't. Marvel Heroes Omega. I thought this game got taken off. I thought this game got taken off the Xbox, but apparently it didn't. Originally a PC game. Again, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I uninstalled it. Mass Effect Andromeda, a game that I've heard is terrible, or some people say it's not a bad game, it just wasn't, it wasn't a very good, it didn't meet the expectations. Massive Chalice, it's a strategy game, I don't know much about it. Might and Magic, Clash of Heroes, I think this is a beat 'em up. Almost like an old school beat 'em up. And then we have the Escape Monkey Island, or The Secret of Monkey Island, and the Monkey Island LeChuck's Revenge. Again, old school PC point and click games. Murdered Soul Suspect, it's kind of a unique game. It was an early Xbox One game, but I hear this has got a pretty good story. MX vs ATV Reflex, there's a lot of these games. Neverwinter, an online Dungeons and Dragons World of Warcraft clone almost, MMORPG. Nights into Dreams, again, originally a Saturn game, sort of like a flight game. Onigiri, it's a pretty bad RPG. Outlast, again, needs no introduction, very scary game. Looking forward to trying out the second one eventually. Path of Exile, I couldn't get into this game. It's free to play though. Peggle, again, I didn't realise this was actually on old systems before this. Phantom Dust, originally an Xbox Classic game. This is almost like a HD version. I don't know much about it. Pinball FX2. Plants vs Zombies, classic game. Pneuma, Breath of Life. I think it's a adventure game, sort of a story walking simulator. Pool Nation FX, got to have at least 1 or 2 pool games. The original Project Cars, I actually loved this game. Pure Pool. Quantum Conundrum, I think it's like a first person sort of puzzle platformer game. Rayman 3 HD, again, I never really played Rayman 3 actually, so I have no expectations for this one, but I will play it eventually. Rayman Origins, I really like Rayman Legends, so I might have to play this one. Red Faction Armageddon, actually a pretty good game. It's not as good as Gorilla, but it's still pretty fun. Runbow, I believe this is sort of like a speedrunners game, clone. Ruby Grim Eclipse, this game could have been much better than what it was. It's an indie game. I believe only a few people, one person made it. So if that's the case, that's crazy. But it's okay, but don't expect a lot from it. Rise, Son of Rome. I played about an hour of this game. We'll get back to finishing it. Really good game. Sacred 3. I played a little bit the second one. Couldn't really get into it. I think I'll just focus on my ready to install, and then I'll do a part 3 when I go home on the Game Pass and EA Access stuff, just so I don't have an overly long video. Plus, I've still got a talk at the end of the video. Sacred Citadel, I believe this is another sort of beat-em-up style game. I like my beat-em-ups. Saints Row the Third, I've got to play this with Ryan, actually. So, Ryan, we might have to play this one again. We've got to do a co-op play for a bit. The original Shadow Warrior, well, the first one, it's a remake, almost, a remaster, reimagining. Pretty good game, got flaws, but it's still pretty fun. Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment. Never played any of these Sherlock Holmes games. I don't know how good they are. Sleeping Dogs, Definitive Edition. Actually, amazing game. I love me some Sleeping Dogs. It's one of the best games I've ever played. I love this game to pieces. Might have to play it again. It's that good. Sniper Elite V2. I've only played the first Sniper Elite on PS2, and it was a surprisingly hard game. So I might play this one. So Many Me, I believe it's another sort of physics 2D platformer. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, actually a really good racing game. Even though it's Sonic, not Mario, it's still a really good game. And yeah, and then we got Sonic CD, often considered the best 2D Sonic game of all time. It's ironic because this CD, Sega CD or Mega CD as it was known over here, didn't sell very well, but this game is notorious for being one of the best 2D ones. South Park, The Stick of Truth. Be aware there's an Xbox 360 version and an Xbox One version of this, and this is the Xbox One version. Love this game. Great game. Space Lords, I think this is a new game. I know nothing about it, so this is new. I think it's an arena shooter, like a 2D arena shooter. Speedrunners, actually a fun game to play, fun party game actually, really fun party game. Playing it single player, not so much, but if you're playing it with some friends, couch co-op or couch versus, great stuff. Spelunky, I've heard this is a really good indie game, so I might have to try it. Star Trek Online, I haven't watched Star Trek, so that's why I haven't played this yet. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, very short game. I will say you can beat this game in a case of maybe about 2-3 hours actually. But if you've got 2-3 hours to spare and you want to play a pretty kick-ass Star Wars game, I'd definitely give this one a go. And the first one as well. State of Decay Year 1 Edition. I weren't overly keen on the first State of Decay. As for the second one, I think the second one's an improvement, but still don't think it's good and that great, to be honest. It's an improvement, but I don't know. It's just something missing about it. Styx, Master of Shadows. This is a sort of open world, almost stealth-based game where you play as a goblin. Not many games out there where you play as goblins. Super Dungeon Bros. I have no idea what sort of game this is, but I'm guessing it's sort of like a dungeon crawler game. Super Meat Boy, considered to be one of the hardest Xbox 360 games. Digital, very hard game, a rage game. Super Mega Baseball 2. Not many baseball games in the UK, especially on disc. This was free a couple months ago, so that's why it's here. Maybe one day I'll play it. Super hot. Super hot. It makes me believe that there will be a VR coming out for the Xbox One, because there's also a game called, I think, Megaton Rainfall, which is originally a VR game, is now on Xbox One. So it makes me believe, will we get a VR on the Xbox One? But this is a really unique game. When you move the enemy, basically, if you stand still Time is going slow pace, so it's basically slowed down time. But when you move, it goes into real time, so it's about catching bullets and stuff. Much better in VR, this game is. Tales from the Borderlands, that's episode 1, but I do have the disc. Rainbow Six Vegas, never played this game, but I hear it's really good. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I love the first one. I played a little bit of this second one, and still Tekken's great. The Cave, I think, is sort of like a Limbo style game. The Gear God, I have no idea how good this is. I've heard it's pretty bad. It's sort of like an indie platformer. The Escapists, really unique game actually, but I hear this is a really good game. You can really lose yourself in this game. Basically you have to escape prison, but it's all about planning and stuff. You really got to think a lot in this game. The Legend of Korra, my mate's played this game quite a bit and he said it's quite fun. Then we have The Walking Dead, the Xbox 360 version. The New Frontier, Necrone, Season 2 on the Xbox 1, Season 2 on the Xbox 360, the first season, and I also have the final season as well. So I've got all the Walking Dead games here, the Telltale ones. Ryan really likes these games, so that's why I've got them all, so I will get around to playing them. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, I played about 2-3 hours of this game, and definitely a game that I could really lose myself in. It's one of the best games ever made, actually. The Wolf Among Us, again, really good Telltale game. A lot of people are asking for a sequel. I asked a question, in one of my gamer groups, what Telltales would you want to see? And I said Saw. Saw would be a good one for a Telltales because Saw is all about making choices. It could have alternative endings, quick time events, talking to people, trying to figure a way out, having to do like puzzles and things like that. Saw could work. But let me know in the comments below, what Telltale series do you think would work? If it's a movie or a video game or something, anything. Thief, I hear this is okay. It's not as good as the originals, but I hear it's okay. Titanfall 2, this game got shit on because Battlefield 1 came out on the same day, I think, and a lot of people didn't like this game, didn't buy this game, but it's actually considered to be have one of the best story modes in any first-person shooter. And the multiplayer is still pretty fun. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, I played this on the Xbox 360 and really enjoyed it. So might have to play it again before I play Rise of the Tomb Raider. Toy Soldiers Cold War, again, like I said, Toy Soldiers are like these tower defense games mixed with real-time strategy. Trackmania Turbo, kind of a unique game, a pretty fun game, crazy customization level design on this. Tron Evolution, really want to try this game out because I actually was a big fan of the movie. I haven't seen the original, but I did like the Disney, the remake, or the Evolution version. But I hear the game's mixed bag. Trove, this is basically like Minecraft meets like a traditional MMORPG. Twitch, I don't use it. I might start doing live streams one day. Valiant Hearts, The Great War, again, sort of a graphical experience. Here it's really, really emotional game. Volgarde game, and it's tough as nails. The original Vermintide, I enjoyed this game. Thought it was good. Like I said, Vermintide 2 is a little bit better, but both of them are pretty fun games. Watch Dogs, I don't have a physical version. I was going to get one the other day, but then I thought, you know what, I'll get that Shin Megami Tensei game. I played a tiny bit of Watch Dogs. I will go back and play it. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. I enjoyed this game, but I weren't overly keen on the story. I thought they really dropped the ball with the story in this one. The gameplay is great, but the story just was a bit weak for me. The Old Blood and what was it? The New Order, they were great. The New Order was fantastic. World of Tanks, Mercenaries, it's now called. I've never played World of Tanks. World of Van Helsing Death Trap, this is kind of like a tower defense game meets a board game. It's kind of a unique thing. I haven't played it yet. I've got a digital version of WWE 2K16 as well. XCOM, the first, or Enemy Unknown, I think this was the first one. It might be the second one, but I don't know. There was 2 on the Xbox 360, and then there's XCOM 2. And then the last 3, we got Zeros, which is, I believe, a beat 'em up. And then we got Zombie, which is the Xbox One version of Zombie U, and I hear it's nowhere near as good as the Wii U version because you don't have the pad and all that. And then Zombie Army Trilogy. I haven't played this for a while, but I have played it and with my mate, and really good game, fun game. But yeah, now a lot of people ask me, you know, you've got a lot of games. How many of them have you actually played? If I'm honest, about 40%, give or take. Now what I'm doing is I'm going through on my game profiling app, because everything you can filter things by console and alphabetical order and stuff like that. It gives me a good basis on what I can play, and I'm trying to at least play every single game that I've got. Now when I say play, I mean I could literally play the game for 15 minutes and do one mission, or I could play it for, you know, 3 days straight kind of thing. But I just want to at least play everything that I have, and I'm doing the Xbox One first because that's what I've been playing most of. So let me know next, what console do you think I should play through my games next? I'm either going with Xbox 360 or PS2, but PS2 will take a long time. But like I said, I'm not going to sit here and play every single game, you know, beat it first try. I mean, I'm just on about playing it for maybe an hour or two, seeing if I like it. If I like it, I'll come back to it eventually. If I don't like it, then I know, you know, I don't have to worry about coming back to it. But it means that I can at least, you know, play every single game that I have. But it's a good way of doing it. That's my way of doing it, and that's why I just installed the Assassin's Creed China. I'm going to have a quick go on it now for about 15-20 minutes, just try it out. I weren't overly keen on Russia, so I don't know if I'll enjoy China more. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and of course feel free to comment below. Let me know what's on your Xbox. Let me know how many of the games that you've played, and let me know what console should I play next after the Xbox One. But nonetheless, guys, if you enjoy, and of course feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. And of course, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.